need information? Oh, blank, no. I don't have, sign-in sheet, that's on the
Colleen?
desk?
Zoning board meeting tonight?
I'm over here.
Zoning board meeting tonight?
Canceled. Hey, how are you, Frank? I haven't seen you in a while.
God.
What are you hiding out?
I know.
Yeah. Somebody used my car and. Yeah. But actually, we didn't have people sign in for public participation.
Hello.
Oh, you? Here.
Can you kill this piece of that, please? Thank you. But we're gonna do it now, because we're gonna take it. If you wanna sign in, public participation?
About some of the stuff that you had.
Okay.
If you are going to speak during the public participation, can you please sign in your name and address? We are going to begin in a few seconds.
Hey, Bill, do the rules of the council guide us through this meeting tonight? That's there's gonna be a chair. Okay, he's the chair.
No, co-chair.
In terms of call of the vote, you're the last one.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
But he's not voting.
In order, though, he's the last vote office.
Yes. Good evening. Welcome to this special meeting, a joint meeting of the Lawrence School Committee and the Lawrence City Council. Before I provide a few details as to the process that we're going to follow, I would like to ask everyone to stand up for a moment of silent meditation. I would like to ask Councilor Bernard to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First of all, I would like to recognize some of the people that are here in the audience. I would like to recognize Leo Lamontagne, who is the chairman of the Greater Lawrence Technical School Committee. I would also like to recognize the Superintendent John Lavoy. John. I would like to recognize some of the members that are here from the Lawrence School Committee. Myra Ortiz, Melquisedes Santos, Pavel Payano. I saw Pavel, he wasn't here, okay. Giovanni Rodriguez, Patricia Mariano, and James Blatchford. Let me briefly explain the process that we're going to follow and why we are here tonight. I don't remember the year, but it was back in 1965, I believe, that the Greater Lawrence Technical School created, when it was created, an agreement was made between the Greater Lawrence Technical School Regional District and the City of Lawrence in the process of replacing a member of the school, an elected member of the Greater Lawrence Technical School Committee. The agreement states that a joint meeting to replace a member of the Greater Lawrence Technical School Committee will require a joint meeting of the Lawrence School Committee and the City Council, and that both bodies will question or interview the candidates, and then a majority vote of the Lawrence School Committee and the City Council will choose the replacement for the person who is Abel Vargas, who resigned from the Greater Lawrence Technical School Committee. As you are aware, the State Department of Education is in control of the Lawrence school system, and consequently, Superintendent Riley was assigned as the person overseeing and controlling the Lawrence school system, and consequently, also, he was assigned the power of voting and decision-making for the Lawrence School Committee. So it is important they understand that. And whether we agree with the process or not, that's what is legally in place. Mr. Riley also has the power to co-chair with me this meeting tonight, and he's going to have also the power to give his vote on behalf of the members of the school committee, which is 7 votes. So whichever way he chooses to go, that would be his decision, and his decision alone. We are going to interview the candidates, and I'm going to decide who goes first and who goes second. But what we will do is that we will allow any members of the school committee, the Lawrence School Committee, to ask questions of the candidates, and they're not to make any statements as to whether they agree or disagree with the process. Nevertheless, any members of the Lawrence School Committee can, in the public session, can speak on behalf of the group and express their feelings in regard to this process. Again, let me reinstate that this process was a signed agreement of the Greater Lawrence Technical School Regional District and the City of Lawrence. And by advice of the city, of our city attorney, we are following this process the way that is predicted and the way that is required by that agreement. Let me say that this is the second time that we go through this process. The first time it was done in 1997. 2007, I'm sorry. It was done in 2007. So obviously the only difference in this particular case from that process is that Mr. Riley is representing the members of the Lawrence School Committee instead of having them sitting here with us. What I would like to do first of all is go through the public participation process, and I would like to recognize Dick Russell. Please identify yourself and your address.
Good evening, councilors, school committee members, and Superintendent Riley. My name is Richard Russell. I reside 34 Cross Street. I'm a registered voter in Lawrence. I must protest the apparent selection method that may be employed to replace Abel Vargas on the Greater Lawrence Regional Voc Tech School Committee. Mr. Vargas was selected by an election process. Somewhere along the line, Superintendent Riley has figured that his appointment as receiver of the Lawrence Public Schools gives him the ability to become judge, jury, and executioner of selecting who will replace Mr. Vargas on behalf of the school committee. I feel that this process is circumventing the election process that America has enjoyed for well over 200 years. There are far too many government agencies, federal and state, that are usurping the rights of American citizens. We do not need a local agency directed by an individual who is appointed by a state agency to remove more of the citizens' rights. While the process that Superintendent Riley is using may be legally correct, is it ethically and morally correct? When this process of replacement was set up, no one ever thought that the Lawrence school system would end up in receivership. If Superintendent Riley is in complete control of the Lawrence school system, then why was our tax money wasted on an election that elected what may appear to be nothing more than a paper school committee? I feel that the Lawrence School Committee should have the right to vote for the replacement as they were elected by the citizens of Lawrence. Superintendent Riley, as it is sitting right now, has 7 votes. I count 6 members of the Lawrence City Council. We have no input, the citizens. Thank you.
Thank you. The next person is Jim Blatchford.
Good evening. My name is Jim Blatchford, Vice Chair of the Lawrence School Committee, 89 Foster Street. I come before you speaking as a citizen, not as a representative of the Lawrence School Committee, but I will give my recommendation at the end of this speech, as was requested. I'd like to start by thanking my colleagues on the Lawrence School Committee for serving their community in a way few others have chosen. For the last 2 years, we as a city have been put into a situation not of our choosing, but one forced upon us by shortcomings of the former school administration and the former school board. In 2011, a brand-new majority of the Lawrence School Committee was elected, and less than a month later, we were put into state receivership. Currently, there is one member of the Lawrence School Committee who served on the board while the system was not under receivership, and that person has served for less than 9 months under that time. This board and this receiver are one of the most professional groups of people I've ever worked with. We may disagree on process and how we feel things should be accomplished in our public schools, but we all agree on one thing, and that is the children of Lawrence Public Schools deserve the best education we can provide. I've spent a lot of time thinking about what I feel should be my recommendation as a school committee member on this vacancy, and we have found ourselves in a bit of a quagmire of sorts. I believe we, as duly elected officials, have a function, and according to the legislation passed in 2010, our decision-making powers have been taken away. But why else do we exist other than for municipal functions? According to the city attorney, which I wholeheartedly disagree with, we have no municipal function. But in that case, why are we then left in place by this legislation? I unfortunately don't have any legal authority to determine that. That being said, I would like for the record to show I object to this process. Now Receiver Riley has been gracious enough to ask for our opinion and how he thinks the appointment should go, and I thank him for that. And if it were a different matter or even a different appointment of some kind that did not affect another school district, I would have given my recommendation. But because this is a different school district and because Receiver Riley has, according to the legislation, both the powers of the superintendent and school committee of Lawrence Public Schools, I do believe that for him to vote for an appointment for another school district's committee is a conflict of interest. I know both applicants personally, and I believe they both have their hearts in the right place, wanting to serve our city in this capacity. I do not take this decision hastily or lightly, but my recommendation to Receiver Riley is to abstain. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. I would like Mr. Maloney to call. Roll call, please.
Council Vasquez.
Present.
Council LaPlante.
Here.
Council Toomey.
Present.
Council Reyes, noted. Council Almonte.
Here.
Council Aquino, noted. Council Bernal,
Present?
noted. Council Vice President Alvarez Rodriguez, noted. Superintendent Receiver Riley,
Here.
and Council President Maldonado.
Present.
Point of inquiry, Council President. Is the mayor still absent from the city of Lawrence?
I'm sorry?
Is the mayor still absent from the city of Lawrence?
Yes, the mayor is on vacation, probably a well-deserved vacation,
And
so
you're, and you're still filling
I'm
in
sure
for the
he's
mayor?
enjoying himself.
And you're
which
still filling
I
in
hope
for the
he
mayor?
does. Huh?
You're still filling in for the mayor, right?
Yes.
Do you vote?
I'm going to abstain every
Okay.
time my vote is called for.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, I would like to have a motion to take document 514 out of table matters.
So moved. Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I would also like to entertain a motion to remove document 514.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion?
Withdraw, you mean?
Withdraw, I'm sorry. Withdraw. it has been made and properly second. Any discussion?
Don't withdraw the document just yet. Don't withdraw the document just yet.
You want to do it after?
That's the basis of the document. That's the basis of the inquiry.
Okay, so we're gonna, I'm sorry. Let's take that back until we finish the process, okay? Thank you.
Sorry.
Okay, what I would like to do is, I'm going to call one candidate at a time, and you will come to the microphone. You will have a few minutes, take as long as you want to, if you want to talk about yourself and the reason why you chose to apply to replace Mr. Vargas. Then members of this committee will have the option to ask questions of those candidates. Once we are finished asking any questions or asking all questions, I will call the second candidate, and then we will, once we are concluded, we will discuss it, and we will take a vote. Yes, Mr. Plant.
Council President, may I make a recommendation that we limit the comments by each candidate to 5 minutes?
Sure, okay, Sure.
If you want a motion, that I'll second it.
He's gonna do it.
Okay.
He's got the gavel.
okay. Let's begin the process then. Again, Mr. Riley is co-chair, and I don't know whether he has any words or anything that you would like.
No comments at this time.
Okay, thank you. I would like to ask Denise Perrault, our first candidate, to come forward to the microphone, and you will have 5 minutes, or less if you want to take less, to explain to this committee why you chose to apply for this position.
Should I say my name? Hi, my name is Denise Perrault. I live in District C, 690 Haverhill Street. Good evening, Chair Modesto, Vice President, Madam Chair, City Councilors, and Jeff Riley, Superintendent. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to come before you tonight. I would graciously ask for your vote. The reason why I elected to try to run for this position is I take this position very seriously. When I ran for school committee, I attended almost every single meeting. Whenever I have an opportunity to talk to the students in the school, to encourage them, I do it. I go to workshops, professional development. So my background is, I have a legal education background at UMass Boston, at Northern Essex Liberal Arts Legal Option, and Women in Politics and Public Policy at UMass Boston as well, grad certificate program. I feel I'm the most qualified candidate for this position. I was at the school for 2 years. I know a lot of what's going on with the school. I know the administration, the policies and procedures, and I take that position very seriously. What I'd like to see happen is to increase student enrollment, student achievement, continued student achievement, partnership with employers and businesses in the community, which that is greatly what they're working on now. I'd like to set a goal of 100% increase of graduation rate and student enrollment, 100% job or college placement. I've continuously asked for outreach to Latino radio and Latino newspaper because I feel that that's important. There needs to be a continual connection between the community, because there's such a large community of Lawrence students who are Latino. I think it's important that we continue to outreach to that population through radio and newspaper. And I think that everyone that graduates should be bilingual so that that every student has an opportunity not just to have English as a second language, but I think also other students that do not speak Spanish. I think that they should have the same opportunity. So I think that all students going to any school should have an equal opportunity and have a bilingual background. Sorry, I'm a little bit nervous. So I originally, my son, he now goes to Universal Technical Institute, but while he was in high school, I had a really hard time with the administration, with my son. So because I had a hard time with my son, I started, and I was going to school for a lot of laws and regulation. I wanted to see my son become successful, and as a result of that, it was a long-term, 4-year or even longer road with my son, and I also, because of that, learned a lot of special education laws. So after he was done, I decided that I wanted to use all the skills and experience that I have from the background with my son and his experience. I wanted to use that to help other students. Because in 2007, I went to Washington, and I spoke in front of the Secretary of Education, and I told him that I'm happy that all kids are encouraged to get a college degree, but not all students are college-bound, and I think that more funding should go towards vocational schools. And whenever I had an opportunity with the governor as well, I feel as though children should have an opportunity, all those at-risk kids. I have a special place in my heart because my son was one of those kids. And I think that it's really important that we not just reach the kids that have a high, their grades are high and they're doing well in school, but those kids that are at risk and that could potentially, drop out. I think it's important to reach those children that are ready to. Oh, okay.
Okay. Now we are open to questions. Members of the City Council and Mr. Riley.
Could we interview both, could both appointees or people who want to be appointed please speak first so that then we can ask questions later?
Okay,
Yeah.
why don't we do that?
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Denise.
Thanks a lot.
The other applicant is Angel Garcia. Angel? Angel, you're going to have 5 minutes.
Hello, my name is Angel Garcia, Councilman, President Riley. Thank you for having me. I was born here, I live in 36 Tremont Street, Lawrence, Mass, District D. I was born and raised in Lawrence, went to Lawrence Public Schools, graduated from Lawrence High School 2004, went on to Middlesex, got my degree in information technology. I now work for Syndio Technologies in Andover, the senior support engineer there. I knew early on that I wanted to get involved with the city. 2008, I took up some interest in some political campaigns and committees. And as soon as I had my child, I knew that I wanted to be involved with the schools. I ran unsuccessfully for the seat of school committee this past election. I became the president of of the Lauder School PTA. I grew up in the city. I went to schools here, and I just feel that we can do a lot better.
Angel, what is your reason for wanting to become part of the school committee? Just to give you a little more,
Can you wait until
because
he's
he's like
finished?
stumped.
No, wait until he's finished, please.
I want to be part of the school committee because I knew that I wanted to raise my kids here, and I wanted them to have the best education possible. Now I wanted to go for the Lawrence School Committee, but obviously I failed. No, I'm so sorry. Freezing up here. Yeah, I'm done. Sorry.
You don't have to be nervous, Angel. You still have about 10 seconds.
He doesn't have to use it if he doesn't want to, though.
Sorry. Want to go to the question now?
Okay, you're finished?
I'm finished.
Okay, good. Okay, why don't we then go ahead and we can choose to ask questions of each candidate. Also, if there are anyone, members of the Lawrence School Committee that would like to ask questions of the candidates, please do so by raising your hand, and I will recognize you. Gentlemen, who would like to begin?
Everybody looking at me? I'll make a first question.
If nobody wants to begin, I will start.
Denise, would you like to get up to the podium so I can ask you a couple questions, please? Thank you. During your tenure at representing the vocational schools, during your tenure there, can you tell us a couple of, what was your highlight, or what was it that one of your goal points and aspirations that you were able to have had for the vocational school?
One of the things was I wanted to see the school committees put on cable. I didn't achieve that yet, but when I read the educational law book, it said that anybody could videotape, so I asked one of the parents if he knew anybody, and so he found somebody that was able to videotape, and he now puts it on YouTube, so I'm almost there, but that was one of my achievements.
Okay. And being part of the vocational technical, sitting on the board and being part of the committee, what do you feel are some of the goals of the students, or where would you like to see some of the goals of the students go in there? And now that you've seen and been there for 2 years, obviously, you ran and you lost at this election, but you're obviously here again because you are a positive influence, as from what I've seen, as to who you want to be and be part of this position to help continue to make the goals of the Greater Lawrence Community Voc Tech go forward. But what are some of the things or lacking things that you see that some of the students there are having that you feel that you would be a definite go-getter and help to have happen with the committee standing next to you for the other districts?
Well, I attend the Workforce Investment Board Youth Council meetings, and one of the things that I see that there is a problem with is transportation for the kids that are able, that could potentially get a job in the community. And so the funds are lacking in that. And I was invited to a Carl D. Perkins Act roundtable with the Congressman Tierney. And we were talking about things that are preventing kids from achieving, their success. And that's one of them, is transportation. The other thing is, potentially just keep contacting potential employers and businesses in the community, so more outreach into the community and connections. I think that there's should be a lot of connections. So, and now I work for Job Corps, so it's kind of a similar, similar background or similar experience. And so I potentially love that background, and I'm glad that my son actually goes to Universal Technical Institute, so I like that background, and I really want to potentially see kids that have trouble going towards the college. They can't go towards the college degree, or they don't want to, and those type of kids are hands-on experience, and we need those people in our community to work in particular jobs. So I want to see more improvement in employers.
So you're saying now that you have a connection with Job Corps?
Yeah, I work there.
And this is something new that has come up since?
Yeah, I just got the job a few weeks ago.
So this would be kind of a gateway bridging system that could help some of the kids that maybe disciplinary actions or issues may be dismissed of going to a vocational school, and maybe that could be something where you could kind of bridge that support system of someone who goes to the Greater Lawrence and is a dropout. They could still have some type of vocational work geared toward them because of your new-found job, that you're able to maybe advocate for that child.
Well, I'm more like, I'm not counselor kind of, it's more business, it's called business community liaison and outreach. So I feel as though I do the same thing at Greater Lawrence Tech. I'll be known to just, go to Commonwealth Motors and, try to get some money from them, or ask for funding for the students, or whatever, or sometimes I'll call up and I'll say, hey, there's a scholarship, Hood is offering scholarships, so I'm always trying to push to get more for the kids.
I have no further questions for Ms. Pearl. Thank you.
Councilor Bernard?
Thank you, Council President. First, I want to say to both candidates, I'm really glad you're both here. We are very fortunate. We have two people from the community that are very willing to put themselves out there. That's not easy to do. And I'm grateful for both of you willingness to serve our community. Denise, something that you said earlier when you spoke, I really liked the idea, was encouraging all students to be bilingual. I think that's a really neat concept, especially see a lot of job postings now that some of my neighbors are looking for work, and they're like, I don't speak Spanish. And they really need to be bilingual for this job. And I know, Mr. Garcia, when you spoke, you were nervous, and that's okay. On your letter, you talked a lot about the work that you do at the Lawler PTA, engaging parents that are bilingual. I guess my question is to both of you,
Okay.
but since you're at the podium, I'll start with you.
Okay.
Are you bilingual?
No, and,
Not.
no, I'm
problem.
not.
And is anyone on that committee bilingual at this time? At the Greater Lawrence Technical School Committee?
Well, able, was able, but the other communities, no,
No, so no, there's no bilingual member at this time?
no.
Okay, no, that's important. Sir, based on your letter, I'm thinking that you are, is that?
Yes.
You are? Great, thank you. That was my question. Thank you very much.
Okay. Mr. Toomey?
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Denise? I was going over your application. Maybe you could help me out a little bit here. Under the list of educations, the way I read this, you have an associate's degree with medical executive secretary. Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay, then you say associate's degree, liberal arts, legal option pending 2 classes, so you haven't got your actual associate's degree yet. You have to get those 2 classes finished before you get it. Is that how that works?
no, at that time, I was going through some things, and I transferred to UMass Boston. So as a matter of fact, this past Monday, I went to UMass to speak to my professor, and I'm working on I only have 1 class to finish my bachelor's degree in legal education.
Okay, that's what I'm reading here too. UMass Boston, legal education, BA, pending 1 class left, right?
Right,
Okay. And University of Mass Boston, Women in Politics and Political Policy, what's that, graduate certificate program?
yes.
That's something that's over and above, right? Okay. Now, the only other question I would have would be, you were an elected official for the vocational school.
Yes.
What would be your reasons for not running again for the position when it came up?
Well, actually, I thought I could run for both. So I was going to try to run for both, and I had already gotten my nomination paper signed for city councilor at large, and then they told me I couldn't, so it was already kind of past that position. But I feel in capacity of city councilor at large or Greater Lawrence Technical School, I look at it as serving the community in different capacities, and with the knowledge that I have from Greater Lawrence Technical School and my legal background, and just having a lot of knowledge about government, I kind of wanted to try out city councilor at large, but since the opportunity came up, I just thought it was a great opportunity to try to, go back there again, because I love Greater Lawrence Technical School.
Okay, so there's no other reason except what you just stated, right?
Right, mhm,
Okay. Fine, thank you.
sure.
Mr. Garcia, can I question him too now?
Yes, go ahead.
Good evening. Thank you. I can appreciate how you're being nervous up there. I get lost for words too every time I get in front of that thing. So don't feel bad about it. But I was going over your letter to us, and the way this thing reads, if you don't mind me reading it, it says, as a son of a Dominican immigrant, I know what it's like to do classwork and not speak the language, to then go home and have someone to ask help for with my homework, but they couldn't speak the language to help you with. They couldn't speak English. You're familiar with that, so you're familiar with, probably with what happens to a lot of the children who go into the vocational school. It's my understanding that Lawrence has quite a few, well, what would the percentage be of Latinos going from Lawrence to the
About
school?
78.
About 80%? About 80% of them going up there? So you could relate to a lot of their, if they have problems. Pardon me?
I'm in a unique position where it wasn't too long ago that I was applying for colleges and going out trying to get financial aid. And now I'm also a parent, so I'm kind of seeing it from both sides. Like, so and also having the parents that didn't speak the language, I had to go to the counselors and fill out my financial aid on my own without my parents' help. So that allows me to, I feel I can relate to the students and try to connect with the parents and try to inform them and educate them on the process of applying for colleges, getting financial aid, things of that nature.
One of the other things you mentioned here, you want to engage parents in the schools because you know that most do care and want what's best for their children. I like that very much. I firmly believe that the lack of parent interaction with the kids when they go to school can create a lot of the problems that currently happen within the city. So I like that very much. Thank you.
Anybody else? Mr. Kennedy?
Thank you, Mr. President. First, I would like to thank both applicants for submitting the application to this process. I think that it shows how interested they are and how vested they are in the education of our youth in the city of Lawrence. My question will go to both applicants. They don't have to answer it together, but it's more if there's one particular thing that you would like to see change in the school committee, the vocational school committee, during this term that you have to finish, what would it be? One particular issue that you would like to address as soon as you get there?
Well, for me, it would be the parent involvement and also student job placement. My older three brothers all went to the vocational school, and they told me stories of how when they went, most of the juniors and seniors had jobs, placement while they were at school, and I know that that's something that they're working towards now. It has to do with the economy and a number of other reasons, but that's something that I would like to see improved. It's the number of students at jobs.
Second question would be, and both questions are for both applicants. The second question would be, many students, and this is something that I have heard more than one occasion. They see the vocational school simply as an alternative not to go to college, but that's not necessarily true because it's a way to allow you to gain a skill and not just say, okay, college is not the end. I mean, high school is not the end. How will you encourage students that attend the vocational school to actually go beyond and pursue a college education if that's something that they look for?
Well, you gotta educate them. I was actually speaking to a student from the vocational school just last week about, she was mentioning that she wasn't sure if she could go to college because she had a child, and she didn't know if she could work the schedule. And I was trying to guide her in the right direction and let her know that college schedules are very flexible. You can go at any time that's convenient to you. But we just have to reach out to the students and let them know that it is possible to go to college from the vocational school and that it isn't just school to go get a job after you're finished.
Wonderful. Okay. Same questions for the second applicant.
Will you repeat the question?
Sure.
For the
Thank you.
First question was one thing that you would like to see differently at the vocational school based on how it is today.
Definitely an increase in transportation funds for kids that don't have transportation to employers, because that's the biggest thing that is preventing students from getting jobs is lack of transportation to jobs, like either outside of the community or in the community. And so that's like a really, barrier. It's a big barrier for them. And I actually went to the State House and asked for funding for transportation on our reps for that particular purpose, because it is really important. I mean, if they can't get transportation while they're in high school, it's going to be even harder when they get out of high school. And I think there should be a good transition from high school into either college, a job, or that kind of there should be a good transition from whatever they want to do.
The second question was that in many instances, students that attend vocational schools feel that because they received a skill, they might not want to go beyond and get a college degree. Even though that's not necessarily true, they could still go to college. How will you encourage them to go
Well,
beyond the
when I
skills?
talked about my son, that was personal to him. I've talked to many students in that school randomly. When I go in there, if I see kids in the hallway, I'll talk to them, introduce them to me, to myself, talk to them, find out I ask them, what college are you going to? So I definitely don't believe that all students are only meant for vocational, but for my son, I pushed him to go to college, and I told him, you better do that because my child support is going to end. So he went to college for 2 semesters, and it just didn't work for him. And he's just a hands-on kid. He's at Universal Technical Institute, and he just changed an engine in his grandfather's garage. So for him, he does not want to do it, and I'm not, I would never push all kids and say, okay, that's the end. I definitely have, asked kids in that school, so are you going to college, and where are you going, or what are you going to do from here? And if they ask me my opinion, I tell them. And as a matter of fact, I was walking, I just randomly talked to kids. I don't know, it's just funny that way. I was walking up Lawrence Street, and there were 4 kids, and one of them asked me for $1, and I usually don't like to give people money because I don't know what they're going to do with it, but my gut feeling said it was okay, to give it to them. And the 4 of them, they were all talking to me, and I told them, oh, you should get involved in government, what are you going to do, college, whatever, and they were telling me that, they wanted a skate park, and I told them to, talk to their city councilor, or talk to their rep or whatever, and they said to me, wow, you're awesome. No one ever would talk to us. If we go to City Hall, they don't talk. No, just kidding. No, but I love students, and I love kids, and I love pushing people to their, students and people to their highest potential, and I always try to see good in people. So.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. LaPlante.
Thank you very much, Council President. So, okay, Mr. Rivera, Mr. Garcia, I guess you stood up first, so you get the question. The way that I envision this board is the members of the Greater Lawrence Vocational School Board is almost like the board of directors of a corporation, where you provide policy and you direct the CEO, in this case Superintendent Lavoie, as to the direction that you want to see the school go. And of course, he implements through the day-to-day functions. A lot of it is obviously hands are tied by laws and regulations, et cetera, but he does have some flexibility to move things forward. So if you could put yourself in that kind of realm, and if you had, so the question is this, if you had 3 things that you could really change, 3 action items, 3 proposals, 3 things that you could do. I mean, we talked about this big thing of 100% of this, 100% of that, which is good conceptually, but in a board meeting that were to start tomorrow hypothetically, what would be 3 things that you would offer as a motion or as a proposal to instruct the CEO of your organization to move forward on?
Well, working in technology and seeing as where the future's headed, it's all computer-based. My recommendation would be to try to get better education for the kids in the technology sector.
And what kind of sector, I'm sorry?
Technology?
Technology?
Yes.
And how would you do that? What kind of proposal would you have that would increase that? Are you looking for, I mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth. How would you do that?
Well, I mean, it's kind of hard to, I'm sorry, I'm not very good at public speaking. How would well, you'd have to start, I know there's a lot of kids that don't know much about computers, and aside from Facebook and stuff like that, they don't know what makes a computer go, and a lot of jobs are heading in that direction. Another thing would, I'm sorry.
Don't be nervous.
Too late.
Step by step, we're good. We're not here to judge you. You're here, You're doing a great job.
Mark, I'm afraid I can't answer that question.
Pardon me?
I can't answer that question at the moment.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. Thank you. Ms. Peral? Same question, you want to repeat it?
Yeah, please.
The question is that
Wait, I
if
just
you,
want to tell you, even though I don't look nervous, I am nervous.
okay, that's fine. And
Okay.
just so, if there are 3 action items you could direct Mr. Lavoie to do essentially, if a hypothetical meeting were to be tomorrow, a motion, a proposal, something, what would be the 3 things that you would be advocating for, proposing?
More Latino outreach and, via newspaper, radio, and also, I feel, one of the things I would like to see is the entire school committee come into events in Lawrence so they can like start, be involved and see the process about what we do in this city. And even though I am not, even though I'm not bilingual, I'm sure that most of you see me like in a lot of places. And if I didn't care about the city, I wouldn't be, involved in a lot of places trying to make, make a difference. So unfortunately, I did try to take Spanish, and at that time, it didn't work for me. But that's on my bucket list. The other thing that's happening when I have gone to conferences, definitely, iPads are, they're starting to use technology, in schools, and it's a tool that they can, the teacher will use it as a tool with them, and it's not like a thing where they're just, kind of off to them by themselves and just going on their iPad, but they can actually communicate to kids in other schools in the world. I think it's a really good transition to go to. I think, that's what they're doing now, and I'd like to see the school committees on cable so that parents can watch the school committee meetings. Because I think.
Is that 3 right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I think it's important for, because we have 80% of the students that go there, that attend there, a lot of parents maybe can't make it there. The timing, they can't, because it's 5:45, they can't make it to the school committee meetings, or they have children, or so on and so forth. And I just think that it's really important for the school committees to be on cable so they can watch it from their house.
Councilor, I just want to say just something real quick. I mean, I want to almost re-echo what the Councilor of District D said. It's not easy to come here. It's not easy to put yourself out in the line like this. We have people who are interested who clearly have demonstrated in their past, both candidates have demonstrated their willingness to get involved actively, civically, to better our city. These are decisions, this is a decision that I'm not looking forward to making this evening. Because it's almost as if you have to pick one. And when you do that, it's almost as if you're voting against somebody, and that's not what this is about. Because what you want to do, what we are more inclined to do, is we want to promote people to get involved. We want to get people engaged. And what we're doing tonight is we're winnowing this field and almost giving a mixed message, where we're saying to one person, yeah, you got it, the other person, no. But whoever doesn't get it this evening, I guess the words that I would have for them is I know that both of them have expressed and have an interest in getting involved, even though one of them is not going to be on the vocational school board after this evening. My hope is that they do remain active in some way, and that they do remain engaged in some capacity, and don't look at this as a failure, but rather as an opportunity to learn and an opportunity to get more involved in the city. And there's other opportunities down the road a bit. So anyway, I just wanted to share that, and I want to thank them for their willingness to be involved. And it's not easy, so thank you so much, both of you.
Thank you, Mr. LaPlante. Superintendent Riley.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to cede my time for questions to any of the school committee members that are here tonight, if they had a question.
Yes, why don't you come to the microphone, identify yourself, and then direct your question to any of the two candidates.
My name is Pat Mariano. My question involves student achievement. Whether your student attends a vocational school or a traditional high school, student achievement has to be paramount. And my question to both candidates would be, what are some of your plans to increase student achievement at the Greater Lawrence Vocational Technical School?
Okay. You want to start first?
To increase student achievement, well, let me say this, that I think that Superintendent Lavoie and the assistant superintendent and the people that work there are doing a fabulous job. And they have done so many changes in that school. For a while there, they were offering on Fridays for kids to come in if they had any help. And with the new park, that new policy that's happening with the school systems. Teachers have to, they're going to be held accountable for everything they do. Self-assessment, the school is going to be assessed, everybody's going to be assessed. It's not going to be like a free-for-all. So for student achievement, I'm just really happy at what they're doing. I've been at that school for 2 years, and if I didn't think they were doing their job, I really wouldn't even want to go back there, but I think it's a great school. And they are, they're doing all kinds of different things to get the job done and to make this, have a better environment for the kids and to increase their achievement.
Mr. Garcia?
Well, I was looking at the data that's publicly available, and I saw that the school is making strides, and the MCAS scores have increased over the past 3 years in all subjects except for science, I believe, which I think we should get some more tutoring going, some more parent involvement. We gotta give kids a chance to show what they can do. So if we can get the parents involved with the kids, let them know that these functions are available to them, tutoring for the children, and I think that would help a lot.
Thank you. Any other members of the school committee, the Lawrence School Committee, that would like to ask questions of the candidates? Will you come forward, identify yourself, and direct your questions to either both or individual candidates?
Myra Ortiz. My question is for both candidates. Reading over your resumes, there's no question as to what you have done, but my question is, I would want to know, what is the parent's place in having more parent involvement? How would you define to a parent their role in their child's education?
Mr. Garcia, would you like to start first?
Speaking from experience, when I was growing up, my parents didn't know whether I had homework, what was due, any projects, if I did any extracurricular activities, and that's where we need to get them involved and let them know that extracurricular activities are okay. My parents wouldn't let us join the baseball team, for example, because they thought we would get in with the wrong crowd. And I know that mentality is still prevalent within the city, and it's something that we have to educate them on and let them know that they're going to be taken care of at these activities and that they'll be safe. And this is a good example for them, and it's team building, and it's integrating them into the American culture. It's things like that that I believe that we need to reach out to the parents with.
Thank you. Ms. Barone?
I think maybe an assessment should be done about why parents aren't going. Maybe, it's either the time, the night, maybe they, if they can't speak English, maybe there should be some outreach to a lot of parents to find out why they're not coming to the meetings, and not to, investigate them, but, to more or less outreach, because, that's how, a lot of times that's how things get changed, is outreach first, assess why things are happening the way they are, and then if something can be changed about, sometimes it's just tweaking something a little just to get parents there. It could be the night, I don't know if the night could change, but could be the time. I think there needs to be an assessment, and really, to be honest with you, I go to some of the Lawrence School Committee meetings, and there's lack of parents, that go there as well. So it's potentially like a problem in a lot of areas, because when I've talked to other school committee members in other areas, that's, a problem in other areas too. But, it would be a good thing to get them to come out there, but I think that we should assess why they're not coming out. And that could potentially bring them in if we figure out why. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other members of the school committee? Okay. I have,
One last question.
You have another question? Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. A question for both candidates. If you were to be selected tonight, will you run for re-election in the upcoming election cycle?
Mr. Garcia?
I would, yes.
Okay. Ms. Perron?
It's hard to say in 2 years. I mean, I could say yes now, but I don't want to say yes and, be a liar. I'm not sure what could happen in 2 years. I'm working at Job Corps now. I don't know if potentially my hours could change, or, that's a part-time job, so I have to look for another job. But that's where my heart is, and that's what I want to do. But it's hard, it would be hard to say in 2 years, what I would want to do. But if things go well, yes, I will.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you.
Okay. I have a couple of questions. I would like to ask Mr. Garcia to come to the microphone. I understand that you graduated from the high school, so I just would like to know briefly your knowledge about what is the objective of the Greater Lawrence Technical School?
The objective is to get our kids ready to go into the workforce. It's to give them training in one of the vocations, or to go to college. It's either or, but it's mostly for those reasons. The objective.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Perron? In your 2 years at the Greater Lawrence Technical School Committee, what would you consider your greatest objective as a member of the school committee, and what have you regret not doing? So it's a two-part question.
Mm-hmm.
What would you consider your greatest objective, your greatest accomplishment as a member of the school committee there, and what do you regret not accomplishing?
The one thing that I kind of pushed for was when the attorney that was working there left. And I think there were like 20 candidates, and at one point, the school committee potentially wasn't going to be included in the process. And I don't push for a lot of things, but that I really wanted to push for, to get everybody involved in hearing who the attorneys were, asking them questions, because, it's to me, it's important to know who the attorney would be if we did, whoever we hired. So that's one of the things that I did, was I pushed for us to be involved in the process. And what was the second half?
The other
Sorry.
question is, what do you regret not accomplishing?
Let's see.
I know you spoke to me on a couple of occasions about making certain that the meetings were televised, for example.
Yeah, right. Well, that's definitely, that's top of my list. I'm sure that some people prefer not to have it on, but that's what I'd like to see happen is, cable, having the school committee meetings put on cable. Sometimes, the thing that I regret is, I try to be in 100 places at one time. And I'm always trying to do something to help the students or help the school, or be there for almost every event that they have. If I get invited to an event, I'm there, but sorry, I think I'm getting tired. But that's my regret, is not getting the school committee meetings put on cable.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Another question for both. Approximately 85% of the student population are minorities at Greater Lawrence Technical School, yet less than 1% of the staff or administration are minorities. If you are selected tonight, what will you do in order to make the Greater Lawrence Technical School a more diverse educational community? Angel?
We can increase our outreach to the coach, increase our outreach when we list positions to different racial backgrounds of teachers. We can
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Perot?
Well, the school committee is not in charge of hiring or firing, but I did ask that they put, they go through this particular program, hiring, I forget the name of it, but it's for educational jobs. Stop. John, what's the program that?
A lifeline?
School Spring, thank you. Sorry. Sorry about that. School Spring. So I asked if he could put it on the website, and I think that was put on. So I guess sometimes, sometimes we think that everybody can access the internet. I myself, I'm living in the 19th century, so I don't have internet. So I can kind of relate to a lot of people that, are living in the low-income area, and it's very hard for them to sometimes get to the internet. So that was one thing that I asked for. So maybe there could be a better, and that goes under assessment too. There could be better outreach. I guess I kind of wasn't thinking about that because I wasn't aware that there was only that many percent. But since you brought it to my attention, maybe there's something that I can do if people have suggestions.
Okay, thank you. Okay, unless anybody has another question, I will close.
I just have more of a comment than anything. This is going to be a tough decision. I know that you're nervous, Angel, but you have your passion. I can read your passion right through your nervousness. And your lack of words doesn't mean that you are not wholeheartedly in wanting to be in this position. It's just that you're nervous, that you're in front of all of us, and I do understand that. But your passion shows right through all of that. Your ideas and your way of developing them and the target that you have is there. The nervousness, it comes with the territory. All of us here at one point before we became familiar with the public and speaking in public and the whole television thing, even for myself, it was a little nerve-wracking, and we get over that as we go along. And what helps us to do that is, like I said, the passion that we have behind all of that pushes us to be where we are and for the reasons that we want to be there. Yourself and Denise haven't been there and receiving calls from her from the different things that she would like to see, and for her being there and everything else. Like I said, this is going to be a very tough decision between the both of you because I can see where you want to go and I can see where you want to be. And then I know that a lot of us are going to be on the fence about the bilingual issue. Those are a lot of things that we all look at in the aspect of how we're going to help this to grow and where we're going to, where the momentum of this whole conversation and meeting is going to take us tonight. I greatly appreciate you both coming out to want to become part of the Greater Lawrence Voc Tech and the passion for the students of our city. I want to thank you for having those, yourself having brothers that went to the Greater Lawrence Voc Tech, Denise having a son that that was in the system. So it is. You're both viable parts of our city. Please don't take our recommendations or our votes tonight as a dismay. Continue to have the passion that you have for our city because of us is why we're here tonight. All of us here tonight are not here just because we want to be here. We are here because we care and we want to see our city move forward. But like I said, this is not going to be an easy task as a vote, as other votes have been, other difficult votes that we have taken here, sitting at this podium, not for this instance, but at the same level. So I want to thank you both for coming out tonight. Take another deep breath because you're going to need it. But I just want to tell you that your passion shows through, even though you didn't have all those words, because I know what it is to think of everything up here and just not being able to put it all together to say it how you want it to be processed. But I sympathize with you, and I know exactly where you're coming from. And Denise, thank you for your passion. Thank you for the years of service that you have presented, and continue to do the work that you have had done. And I give you both just thank you for it, and good luck during this whole process. Thank you.
Anybody else would like to make a statement or Representative Riley? None? Okay. Let me explain the process on the voting. Superintendent Riley is going to cast the first 6 votes, and he asked me to give him a little time to confer with the members of the Lawrence School Committee. So he's going to cast the first 6 votes. Then the other members of the City Council are going to be asked for a vote. Then the Superintendent Riley is going to cast his 7th vote, and then I will cast my abstain vote. Okay, so let's go forward. Mr. Maloney? Are you ready?
I need 1 minute.
Okay, let's wait a few minutes, a few seconds.
Okay, almost.
You ready? Let me say that I appreciate the fact that that both of you came forward. I agree with the group that it's going to be a tough decision, but nevertheless, I know for a fact that whichever one of you is chosen, you are going to represent well the city of Lawrence. So, best of luck. Superintendent, yes, you're all set.
As I call each of you, please cast your votes as they're called one at a time by roll.
Point of clarification, Mr. Maloney?
Yes.
I have 7 votes, including the 1 abstention.
Right, I'll go one at a time. I'll just count them as enumerated, vote number 1, vote
Thank
number
you.
2, et cetera. Superintendent Riley, vote number 1.
Angel Garcia.
Superintendent Riley, vote number 2.
Angel Garcia.
Superintendent Riley, vote number 3.
Angel Garcia.
Superintendent Riley, vote number 4.
Angel Garcia.
Superintendent Riley, vote number 5.
Angel Garcia.
Superintendent Riley, vote number 6.
Abstain.
Noted. Council Vasquez.
Angel Garcia.
Council LaPlante.
Denise Peralta.
Council Toomey.
Angel Garcia.
Council Reyes, noted. Excuse me. Councilor El Monte.
Like I said, this isn't going to be easy. And I'm going to say the reason why I'm taking this vote, because I really need to clarify this. I think that we need, I'm going to say it, everybody knows how I am, and I put everything on the table. I don't hide nothing from nobody. And the reason why I'm taking this vote the way that I'm taking it is because we need diversity. And number 1, and number 2, yeah, I'm going to cast my vote for Mr. Garcia.
Councilor Aquino, noted. Councilor Bernal.
I'm voting for Mr. Garcia.
Councilor Alvarez Rodriguez, Council Vice President, noted. Superintendent Riley, vote number 7.
Angel Garcia.
Council President Maldonado,
Abstain?
noted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 votes for Mr. Garcia. 1 vote for Ms. Peralta.
2.
I'm sorry, I see 1.
1?
I see 1.
I have,
If I missed it, I have 1.
sorry.
So 10 and 1?
10, 1.
Let me see, I only count 9.
I have 10 for Mr. Garcia again. 10 votes for Mr. Garcia, 1 vote for
That's
Ms.
all right.
Peralta. I have
Oh, just
2
one.
abstentions and 3 absences.
Mr. Toomey, you had a question?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 9 for Mr. Garcia.
I count
And
again.
an
Let's count
abstention?
again. Hold on.
3, 4, 5,
So I'm missing something.
6, 7, 8, 9.
I don't think so either.
I have 10 for Mr.
Could
Garcia.
you please state the name, the
Want me
name?
to confirm the roll?
Yes, please.
Confirming the roll, vote number 1, Mr. Riley, Angel Garcia.
Correct.
Vote number 2, Mr. Garcia.
Correct.
Mr. Riley, vote number 3, Angel Garcia.
Correct.
Vote number 4, Angel Garcia.
Correct.
Mr. Riley, vote number 5, Angel Garcia.
Correct.
Vote number 6, abstain.
That's correct.
Vote number, for Mr. Vasquez, excuse me, Council Vasquez, Angel Garcia.
Correct.
vote from Council LaPlante, Denise Peralt. Correct? Council Toomey, Angel Garcia.
Okay.
Council Reyes, absent. Council Almonte, Angel Garcia. Council Aquino, absent. Council Bernal, Angel Garcia. Councilor Alvarez, Vice President Angel, Vice President Alvarez Rodriguez, absent. And Superintendent Riley, vote number 7, Angel Garcia.
Correct.
Okay, that's
And
So that makes
Vice
sense.
President, Council President Modista Maldonado, abstain. 10,
Okay, so we
One.
have 10 and 1.
Correct.
Let me
We have a
again
majority.
restate that we should be very proud of having both of you as candidates. Obviously, this joint committee had to choose one, and I would like to congratulate Mr. Angel Garcia. Congratulations. Let me indicate that Mr. Garcia is going to fill in the position until the next election, our next election of the city, in the city. Am I correct?
That's correct.
So the election, I believe, the next election is going to be in
2015?
15,
the 15th of,
2015,
I'm sorry, not what?
2015.
2015, okay? So, again, congratulations.
If you'd
I
stay-
will,
If you'd stay around, I'd love to swear him in if we're going to adjourn for 5 minutes to,
I'm sorry?
if we're going to adjourn to go into the session.
Oh, yes, yes, okay,
I'll swear him in if you want to take 5 minutes.
yes. There is the one item that we are supposed to remove from
Budget and Finance Committee.
item, I believe, 514.
Motion to withdraw?
Second,
There's a motion on the floor?
second.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. There is, the Budget and Finance Committee is going to meet in a few minutes. If you would like to remain for that session, there's only one item in the Budget and Finance Committee, so again, you're welcome to remain.
Adjourn the session? Adjourn the session?
Yes. Let me ask for a vote to adjourn the, Councilor Almonte? Councilor? Motion to adjourn. Councilor Almonte? There's a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
At 8:20.